Hi everybody, welcome back to our Halloween mini album using, I just drew a blank what this collection is called. What is this thing called again? Say Cheese Halloween by Simple Stories. Sorry about that. Okay, so last time around we basically finished the book. We did the cover. We did not do the spine or the back, but I have since then just added a piece to the back. And underneath I tucked a piece of black seam binding, which I've tied to a bulldog clip, and that's our closure. If you've watched many of my videos, you've seen this before. It's my favorite closure. Okay, now I have not done the spine, and the reason for that is I have lost my little brads that have the ring on them to hang the charms, because I want to hang a dangly from the spine, and I don't have that, so I haven't put that piece on yet. So you'll see that in the walkthrough, because we're going to finish today and I don't have those yet. I ordered some, but they're not here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go through with everything that I've decided on. I've done a few things already, and we'll just do all our inserts and all that stuff, embellishing. You can see I've got all my ephemera pieces out, some cut aparts. I've got my sticker sheet off to the side. And the first thing I want to do is there's this little piece of ephemera that says "Not So Scary," and I'm going to put that there. And if you're not a fan of Disney World or not familiar with Disney World, every fall they do a series of limited ticket events that they call Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween Party. And it's lots and lots of fun. And this is what this album is kind of geared towards. If you if you use the things that are like this one, obviously Mickey kind of allude to that. And I know that this particular album is going to be holding pictures from that event. Okay, so that's just all I added there. Okay. Now we shall open up the front cover. There's nothing more to do here. I have gone ahead and put the black mats on the inside of my waterfalls. You can see. Well, okay, there we go. Okay, now in the pocket, I don't have a lot, but I've done a photo mat. So I just cut a piece of the black. That's 4.5 by 6.5, and then I put a piece of pattern paper 4.25 by 6.25. The other side is plain, so that's just a photo mat. And then these are two of the small cut aparts, the 3x4 cut aparts, and I cut a piece of black that was 4.5 by, let's see, it looks like it. I unfold it and measure it. Looks like 6.75. Probably 6.5 would have been the better bet because it's a little wide, but somewhere in that neighborhood. Just folded it in half, rounded the outer corners, and then just put one of the cut aparts on the front and one on the back, and that's just tucked in there. There are 4 side pocket inserts, and I'll talk about those when we get a little further along. Now on this page, I've not done anything here, but here I'm finding these little sugar skulls just really busy, so I think I'm just going to glue a photo mat down. I thought about putting just a tuck spot, but you'll see as we get further along, I have a lot of tuck spots. So this is 4.5 by 6.5, and I'm just going to glue it down, and we may, when we come back through, decorate it with a piece of ephemera or sticker or something. And obviously this is completely optional. If you don't want to put it down, don't. I just felt like I wanted to. All right. Careful, try not to bend that too much. Okay. There's that. Now here is where I've started adding some things. So I just took some pieces of ephemera. This is 2 pieces. Here's one that I just glued at the bottom to make little tuck spots, and then I cut little 3x4 photo mats to go in them. Now, I just want to caution you, when you're gluing these down, if you carefully put the glue only at the very, very bottom, you can fit 4x6 in here. I used a little bit more glue, so I'm going with 3x4s. And then on the inside, I did the exact same thing, but we talked about this earlier, that we were going to use the little trick-or-treating children. And so that's what I've done here. And let me pull out the mat so you can see. Okay. All right, so here, I'm just sliding it because I don't think you can see it. Now this one here, because I forgot my magnet, is not a tuck. You will have put your magnet under the mat, so this one will be a tuck for you as well. But all of mine are tucks except for her. So these just, you'll put it behind both. And again, if you see how my glue is way up here, if you keep your glue further down, you could put 4x6s here if you want. And of course you could put more than one in here if you wanted to. There's that one and that one. And then you could just write with a white gel pen or something like that, place photo here if you're giving this as a gift. So we have lots and lots of places for photos there. All right, and then here we have a little work to do here. Here's our belly band, and I've made this little trifold that we're going to use. And I put here one of the ephemera pieces. Use this for an example. I put this here, and what I did is I took a little piece, here's the scrap, of my chipboard, just I made a strip and glued it right at the bottom, and that way it lifts it up a little bit as a stopper here. Okay, so that's what that is. And let me show you this trifold. All right, so I had a piece of 12-inch black cardstock that I cut. Actually, I'm not even sure I had to cut it. I might have had it left over, but it's 6.5, so I probably did cut it. So it's 6.5 by 12, and then I just scored it at every 4 inches, so that and then I folded it accordion style like that. And then I'm gonna just put a mat on the front and a mat on the back. So let me go ahead and do that. And I was thinking I might use a ribbon closure on this, but I don't think I will, because it's going in that belly band. It's going to be held shut. And as you can see, I've got these little tags, so I don't really need it. But if you want it, go ahead and add a little ribbon closure to it. Whoops, I'm putting the glue on the wrong thing. That's what I get for not paying attention. Okay, good thing art glitter glue dries clear. Okay, and then that just tucks in here. So cute. Okay, then let me lift this open. We'll look at those tags in a minute. This is just a photo mat. It's a 4.5 by 6.5, 4 1/4 by 6 1/4 mat. And then we're going to put a tuck there. So let's get the mat down first, and then we will choose something for our tuck. So that's going to go there, and we want something, I think that's too big. Need a little something. Ghoul Squad, that's our Squad Ghouls, I should say. That's kind of cute. They have stickers too that might work. Just pawing through these. Let's see, so far I like that the best. Let's see what we have for stickers. I have all of, oh, I have one of these, might be cute. I kind of like this one that says spooky. Or the little bat one, because that picks up nicely on that. All right, let's work with that. Okay, so for that, grab a scrap. So I'm going to take and put this on a scrap. Just like that. And cut it out. Probably should have inked that a little, huh? And put a little glue on the back. Oh well, it'll be fine. Okay, there's that. And I am just gonna dab a little glue on it. Oh, I didn't cut that very well at all, did I? I didn't glue, excuse me, I didn't ink very much in this book, so I don't want to ink too much. I just want to knock back a little of that white. Okay. And then we're going to put a piece of chipboard. Find one. Go. I'm just going to use my Tim Holtz scissors to cut myself a little piece. I don't want it to be too wide because this is pretty small, this little tab. Just eyeballing this. Just about like that. Okay. I'm going to glue that on the back. Whoops. That's that. Okay. Just going to pick this up. Okay, so just like that, okay? And then we're going to put this right at the very bottom, okay? Because we don't want, this is a pretty big piece, so there's not a lot of room to play with. Go, just like that. That can tuck in there, and that will come over. Good. And the magnet still catches, even though we have lifted it a little. Okay. And then what I have in here, these are 3 little Graphic 45 ATC cards, and if you don't have them, don't worry about it. It's totally optional. You can use some of the little 3x4 cut aparts would look cute in there, just like that. Same thing. So but I had them, so I decided to use them. They're the black ones, and I've just matted them front and back. And I may add, I may add some little ephemeras or something to them, but for now, I'm just going to leave them. And then I have a little insert, and I believe it's 4 1/4 by 4 1/2. No, it's 4 3/4 by 4 1/2. And it's just matted on one side, the other side for a photo. So that just goes in there. And hang on, sometimes it catches. Well, get in there. All right, there we go. Okay. And then I have these. And again, I may go through and add some ephemera to these. But for now, that's what's there. Okay, and then this one does not have its side pocket insert, so let me show you that. I did all the others, but I set one aside to show you. They're all going to be the same. All right, so it's a piece of black cardstock that is 4 7/8 by 6 3/4, and I just matted one side with a mat, and I cut my mats 6 1/2 by 4 1/2. Hi everybody, so I'm jumping in here. I'm going to switch to voiceover because somehow I managed to, I don't even know what happened, but I was recording this video from a little while before I'm starting this voiceover to the end. It was recording in slow motion. So I've managed to speed up the video, but I just couldn't get the audio and video to line up properly. So I'm going to do a voiceover. I hope you don't mind too much. So obviously what I'm doing here is gluing down this mat onto the side pocket insert. And you can do both sides if you want, but I only did one. There's plenty of paper. I had plenty of paper. I could have done both sides, but I figured you probably would put pictures on the other side, so I didn't bother. And I'm just going to try and speak when I have something specific to say. I'm sorry, it's a while since I actually did this, so I don't even really remember a lot of it, but I have the book in front of me. And as you can see, I was struggling here to get that in the side pocket because there was so much going on the other page. But I did get it in there. And I'm showing you here, I did the other mats. That one has the sugar skull, that one the spots, and that one the bats. So they're all the same size, but I used different papers. And that is the accordion pocket on the back. And I just stuck some of the cut aparts and some plain black mats in there just to have something in there. And then I have this piece of ephemera that I'm about to show you. There it is, that I thought would look pretty just centered on that flap to give it a little interest. I like that sugar skull paper, but it's busy and I liked breaking it up with another item. So in this case, I just glued down this little frame piece of ephemera, which is really cute. And I'm just eyeballing it there and putting it in the center. And you could make a tuck spot out of that if you wanted, but there were just so many tuck spots already in this album, I didn't feel like it needed it. All right, and here I was deciding whether or not I wanted to add a little piece of ephemera or something to the bottom of that frame. In the end, I left it. I just liked the way it looked, so I didn't bother. There's tons of ephemera. I'm picking up the book so I can get to the page. There's tons of ephemera. And actually I did, now that I'm looking at the book, I did go back later and add another little decoration to that. And here I'm looking at the inside front cover and deciding what to put there. And there's the sticker sheet. And once again, putting the pin in my glue because I'm always forgetting it. And here I am looking through the ephemera to choose something to put on that waterfall. And I did end up with this little boy from the die cuts. And you'll see in a minute, I did the matching little girl on the back waterfall. I really made these two waterfalls pretty much identical to each other. So I've decided I'm going to go ahead and glue this this one little die cut down, and you'll see I had a bit of trouble there with my glue, but apparently it was clogged or something, so it took me a minute to get that done. I'm trying to be quiet here as I fuss with the book because it has a dangly charm on it and it's noisy. I'm sorry. So there's more of me struggling with that glue. And it's my own fault. It's because I'm always forgetting to put the pin back in it. And I tried one of those pins that has the charms and stuff on it, and the charms would just drive me crazy, so that didn't last very long. And as you can see, I just put it right down there in the right corner. And here I am looking for a just some sort of little saying or something to put on the front. And I did end up choosing one and putting it there. And it says mischief and mayhem, and has a little arrow that points in the direction where the little boy is. So I thought that was cute. So then in that front pocket, there's a just a little photo mat and a little folder. And I have no idea what I was saying and pointing out there, but I think I was just looking to see if I wanted to add something there to that front, and I did end up adding that little piece there that you see as a tuck. There was just so much cute ephemera with this collection that I really wanted to use it. A lot of times I have collections that have beautiful or ephemera or cute ephemera and I don't use it, so I really wanted to make sure I used quite a bit of it in this one. I'm just putting a little bit of glue there along the bottom and centering it on the front of that pocket. Although I didn't do a very good job of centering it, it's off to the right a little bit, but it looks fine. And then I'm just tucking a little bit more of the ephemera in there. I'm sorry we're having to do the audio this way. I hope it's not too confusing for you. Fortunately, you would pretty much finish the book at this point, so it's just the decoration. And I'm just pawing through the ephemera, picking out another piece. And I went with this little candy apple. And there we're just looking at that and deciding not to add anything. But that big black mat did look awfully plain to me. And we did end up adding something there. So I was looking there at the sticker sheet, which has a lot of really cute things on it. And I still have quite a bit of it left. I may have to make something else. Maybe a tag. And there I was talking about using the children, but we already had so many pictures of trick-or-treating children throughout the book that I want to, I didn't want to use that. But there's a sticker that had balloons, and that's what I ended up with. And there you can see me getting ready to lay that down. Apparently dithering over it a little bit. I just added some glue to the back. I like to do that with stickers. Sometimes I forget, but I don't think the adhesive that is enough to hold them long term. I think they really need to be glued. And I'm just taking another look at that piece to decide if I really wanted anything there or not. And ultimately, I did not add anything. That page is done. We'd already done everything on the whole center section. And then here we have the belly band. And we had already added the little stop pieces, so it didn't really need anything else. But I did pull out those tags because I felt like those tags did need something else. So I set aside the book and I laid down the tags, and I'm just going to add a little piece to each one of those tags. And that's a little cauldron, which looked really cute on that tag that had the eyes. And then the center one, I got to pull it out so I can see. The center one says Hocus Pocus. And then I ended up with one that says Hey Pumpkin on the third one. I just pulled them out to double check what they said, if you can hear me rattling around here. And I think that I'm trying to remember. I think at least one of these pieces was a sticker. I can't remember if it was from the sticker sheet or not. So I have no idea what I'm doing off camera there. Normally I would edit that out, but without audio, it's hard for me to tell exactly what's going on there. Apparently I was looking for my pen again. And I think I was explaining there that I had chosen the Hocus Pocus because at the Not So Scary Halloween party, they always have or at least they usually have a Hocus Pocus themed stage show in front of the castle during the Not So Scary Halloween party. So that's why I chose that. And of course I realize not everybody is going to be using this book for Not So Scary pictures, but if you are, that's why I chose that one. If you ever do get a chance to go, it's a lot of fun, that party. Everybody has a good time. Kids, grown-ups, everybody. I just love those graphic 45 tags. They make it so quick and easy to add decoration. And I was setting aside those two pieces you see there to the left because I liked them a lot and I wanted to make sure I used them somewhere in the book, and I did. I'm not sure I used the card. I think I did though. I know I used the little hat. And I was wondering if I needed to add anything to that 31, but I liked it as it was. And here we're looking at that, and that looked like it really needed something. So even though I thought I had already used plenty of trick-or-treating children, I did end up adding a couple more right there. I'm sorry if my voice is a little raspy. I try not to record after I've had a day at work because my voice can be a little beat up after work because I talk a lot at work. But I really wanted to get this done for you, so sorry. So here I'm using the trick-or-treating children from the sticker sheet on this little flap. And the collection is just so cute. I mean, somebody really spent some time designing all those little kids. They're all so different. I mean, I suppose there's some duplicates, but not. If there are, I didn't notice them. In this book, I did keep gravitating purposely towards having a little boy and a little girl with dark hair. I mean, I picked all kinds of different children, different coloring and ethnicity, but I particularly wanted a dark-haired boy and a dark-haired girl because this album is actually going to be a gift for a friend, and that's what she has for children. She has a boy and a girl, and they have dark hair, so that's why I picked some of the ones I did. And there I am looking for a little girl with dark hair for that, because I had a boy on the front. And I just put her in the same place I did the one on the inside front cover, just at the right hand side there. And then I'm looking for a saying because I wanted it to look like the one on the front. And I can't remember what that saying says. Let me look. It says, "Under your spell." But of course you can put whatever you like there. This would also be a good book in a Christmas paper because there's just so much room for pictures, or a graduation. Anything that produces a lot of pictures, this would be a good book for because there's a lot of room for pictures in it. Of course, you'd have to change out the middle from having the trick-or-treating scene. But you could easily do that. All right, and just tying that bow. I'm looking at that and thinking it looks a little plain. So I'm trying to decide what to put there. And at some point along here, I'm going to remember that I set aside that witch's hat to use. And that's what we ended up using here. And there it is. Apparently I realized it. And that's what went there. And I was deciding whether I wanted to do it as a tuck or not. Not necessarily a tuck, but because that is kind of a frame, I didn't want to prevent somebody from putting a full picture in that frame. So I did only glue one corner of that hat so that the picture could be tucked behind it. I'm not sure what I was checking there with closing the book, but and then I did end up putting something there in front of that pocket, and maybe it was that, but I don't think so. I feel like it was something else. Yeah, it was whatever that piece says, which I think was "Under your spell." think I had decided, yeah, I guess I did. I decided that I wanted to put some decoration inside that pocket. And I ended up going with the banner that you just saw me using, but not that one. I used the one from the sticker sheet, which was a little larger scale. And I think I futzed around trying to measure it to get it centered, but in the end I still think I cut it too short. But it looks cute anyway. You can see I'm very carefully cutting it wrong. Alright, so apparently the camera went back to normal speed right about there. So I fixed that. This is going to be the weirdest edit ever. I hope you guys can follow along. So I put some glue on the back of that, and I'm gluing it in place, excuse my head. And I'm realizing right about now that even though I carefully measured it, it's just a hair too short. But that's fine. And I'm just using CVS baby wipes is what I use whenever you see me pulling out that paper. And what it is a CVS baby wipe that I've dried. I just take them out and leave them out for a day before I use them. It's a giant box of them that I get. They're cheap and I never have any lint problems. So that's what I use. So there I'm just tucking in whatever little cut aparts I had into that pocket. And then we're just flipping back through to see if there's anything else to be done. And I'm not sure what I was deciding there. Oh, I think I was going to tuck a couple more things in there just to add some interest, because that photo mat was kind of plain. Even if it is bright orange polka dot, it still was a little plain. And then we had one last thing to do, which was to add a little decoration to the back. And again, I went with a little boy and a little girl and the little boo. I love that paper with the text. I used it a lot in this book. I really liked it a lot. I love all the bright colors. And I'm just gluing down the two little ephemera pieces. And you'll see in the flip through that I did add a charm to the closure. And I also added, I talked about that I was going to add a charm to the spine, and I did eventually do that. I haven't taken a picture of it even, but I did do that in the end. I didn't have the brads with the little rings on them that I needed to add that charm, so you didn't see it in the video. And of course that's optional, you don't need to add it. And here I am remembering that I wanted to use that piece. And there, I think right there I was explaining that I hadn't yet finished that that spine. And I just tucked that in there. And that was it. So again, I apologize I had to do this in a voiceover. I hope it's not too distracting. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. This was a really, really fun project. I hope you make one. Please like the video if you can. This one's kind of weird. Subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. If you have, I really appreciate it. Thank you so much. And I will see you next time, and we will make another project. thanks again. There I am, again, explaining about the spine. Yes, that's where I put the charm. All right, I'll see you next time. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.